last time that we were together, we ended with the story of, actually, he was called Prince Goodheart, who was a previous incarnation of Shakyamuni Buddha. And he gave his life to a hungry tiger who had 5 tiger cubs. And she was dying and she was unable to support her cubs. And this previous reincarnation of the Buddha, he stayed behind and slowly gave her his blood until she got strong enough that she was able to devour him and feed her cubs. And actually, one thing that it doesn't say here, but it does say in the Buddhist canons, is that as this Prince Goodheart was dying, he made an aspiration that the tiger and her cubs, that he be reborn as a Buddha, and that the tiger and her cubs be his disciples, his first and principal disciples. And as we know from the story of the life of Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was on the path, he had 5 ascetic companions before he adopted the middle path. And those 5 ascetic companions were the reincarnations of the tiger and her cubs. Also, when they had a falling out because they felt like the Buddha was not being radical enough with his spiritual disciplines because he was adopting the middle path approach, they abandoned him. But after he attained enlightenment, they saw him again. And when they actually came up to him with the intention of kind of giving him a scolding and correcting him that he was going the wrong way. But he was so luminous and enlightened that when they got close to him, even without wanting to, against their will, they curved down and bowed down in front of him just through the force of his incredible enlightenment. So that's a little bit of added detail on the story. And we also mentioned that there is a stupa to this day in Nepal called, in the region called Namo Buddha. And in that stupa, there are some hair and fingernails of what's left from the boy prince that offered his body to the hungry tiger. So that's the story of Great Heart's offering. And here's some questions that Rinpoche answered. When you think about it, was Great Heart's deed different from suicide? Rinpoche answered, suicide is an expression of the mind's poisons, aversion to life, desire for death, and ignorance of the consequences of that action. On the other hand, Great Heart selflessly gave his body so that others might live. His deed was not stained by the slightest bit of selfishness, righteousness, or desire for fame and glory, nor was he attempting to escape his own suffering. His was a perfect act of virtue. Many great practitioners throughout history have offered their lives for the sake of others. I remember seeing video footage of Vietnamese monks who burned themselves alive to protest the war in Vietnam. Even as they ignited their bodies, they did not jump up in fear or regret, but sat in perfect meditation posture. The dedication and selfless motivation they demonstrated starkly contrasts with the act of suicide. Second question. I'm on the board of trustees at our university, and I'm just now realizing that in all my years there, we have never made a single decision based on good heart. Remarkably, really, that this doesn't enter into our decision-making in the smallest way. Rinpoche answered, making a good heart the basis of your work and commitment is a very important matter. If the root of a tree is medicinal, all of its leaves, flowers, and fruits will have medicinal qualities. If the motivations of the members of the board of trustees is pure, the university's purpose will be fulfilled. By establishing good heart as the foundation of education, you will support the development of positive qualities in your students and inspire them to undertake beneficial actions. Your students are like your children. Your care for them will become imprinted on their minds and will pervade their lives. They will come to respect you and the qualities you embody. When they go out into the world, they will take this same habit of warmly caring for others. The universe is full of things we can learn, but we don't have the time to learn everything, nor do we need to. Instead, we can choose to train in what is most important. No matter what your spiritual tradition, focus your intention on how the university can help nurture, in both students and faculty members, the basic human qualities of wisdom, compassion, and the ability to benefit for the good of the university and society at large. In the Buddhist tradition, pure motivation is considered so crucial that teachers start every lecture by stressing its importance. By constantly reiterating that the objective of education is to develop positive qualities and the ability to help others as well as ourselves, you will firmly establish this goal in people's minds, and a good heart will naturally follow. If you have a choice between hiring an excellent scholar whose motivation is self-centered and one with a good heart, it is preferable to choose the good-hearted person, because his or her interactions with others will be harmonious. If your staff members' intentions are altruistic, their minds will be flexible. They will be open to the opinions of others and willing to change their own positions if they feel it is best for the students and the school as a whole. When you hire someone, let her know your school's values. Be very clear about your guidelines and principles, including standards for the practice of good heart, humility, cooperation, and harmony. Explain that anyone who is part of the university is expected to uphold those standards. So those are excellent words of advice for us. No matter what our work is, no matter how we occupy our days, always establish and maintain a pure motivation. Whether you're waiting tables, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an accountant, any activity, we can develop a positive motivation. Working in the sewers, building bridges, fixing roads, building houses. In fact, when I was back in the United States, selling my parents' house, moving my parents to facilities, the moving crew that came, I got to know them a little bit because we had 3 different moves we had to make. One to my mom's Alzheimer memory care unit, one to my dad's independent living, and then one to the storage. One of the boys, he was a history student at the university, but he said he wanted to make moving his career. And I said, why do you prefer moving over teaching history or studying history? He said, because I feel like I'm helping people. And I thought, wow, a natural bodhisattva. So no matter what we're engaged in, try to always maintain this motivation of helping others, having a good heart, bringing benefit to the world. We're here such a short time. We can die at any moment. Look at the Yangtze of Dudjom Rinpoche, 32 years old, perfectly healthy, doing all kinds of spiritual practice, long life pujas. Like that, he's gone. The same thing can happen to us. So what's really important? Helping others. Trying to make the world a little bit better. As I was working on the temple this week, lifting the bricks, mixing the cement, just the weight of one brick. It's hard for me to lift it up. I'm a big, strong guy. One brick. They're big bricks. And I was looking at the temple, all those bricks, all that weight, all that effort of somebody lifting up one brick at a time, lifting up one spatula of cement at a time and putting it in the mortar. So much effort, so many hours, months, years, so many thousands and thousands of kilos and pounds, millions, I don't know, tons. And at the same time, if somebody with a bad mind pushes one button, they can destroy the whole thing. They can destroy a whole city. They can destroy the whole world that has taken so long, so much effort to build up. And that's how virtue and non-virtue work. It takes a lot of effort to create virtue. Constant effort, grinding away, taking care, being careful, helping others, working hard. And one moment of non-virtue can destroy all of that. It doesn't seem fair, but that's actually the way things are. One moment of anger, hatred, violence can wipe it all out. So be extremely careful. Motivate and orientate all of your actions with a good heart.